Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at the most expensive cards from Celebrations. Now, I'm billing this as a top 10. And it is a top 10. I feel good about calling it a top 10. However, I am also fully aware that there is a really clear top 4. And then after the top 4, it tends to cascade a little bit downwards. You have been warned. Now, we are mixing together the regular and the classic collection here, because they're all available in Celebrations booster packs over here, so I don't think we need to get too out of it. Obviously, we're not including promos here, because they're not really part of the set as you would pull from booster packs, and also being promos, they ain't ever going to actually get up to any level along those lines. So in at number 5, we've got, well, frankly, a bunch of cards. There are a whole bunch of cards which are coming in at somewhere around $20-ish. I reckon we got about 5 cards here. And look, I've looked at Troll and Toad, TCG Player over on eBay and a few other websites, and this is a very general guide, but the top 4 tend to be the top 4 all over the place. After that, there is generally a bit of a mix. So we've got ourselves base set Venusaur. Incidentally, I know some of you are expecting Mew EX to be on this list. In the UK, you can readily buy this on Facebook for like 15 quid. And I've seen so many listings. It is just not getting up there price-wise. It's not actually... Honestly, if we did a top 10, it would come in at number 10. But then we'd have this huge mix from 5 to 9. And it just gets awkward, all right, ladies and gentlemen. It just gets awkward. So, base set Venusaur does come in here. It's about a $20 card. Similarly, Birthday Pikachu does come in here at about a $20 card. Now, I have seen a bunch of places listing it more expensively than this, trying to think it's worth a bit more than this. Fact of the matter is, it regularly sells about there. It's really not that much above. Mewtwo EX, the classic, and something which I think we need to talk more about in a future video, these cards are tournament legal. If you take Mewtwo and put it next to Mewtwo, as in the actual one from Next Destinies, one of the things you'll see is it's the same card. It's got the correct set number, it's got the correct set symbol, etc. So one of the sneaky cool things about the black and white on cards is that they are totally legal for tournament play, and there is every possibility that this is one of the reasons these are actually going to be more expensive cards as we go through, because you can use this Mewtwo if you're playing in an expanded tournament, because it's got a different holo pattern, and it's got texture, but it's the same card. And very much along those lines, Mega Rayquaza EX is also totally legal in the expanded format. You can use that in tournaments. Life is good. And obviously, it's Mega Rayquaza. You know, the ones I've shown you so far, you've got Venusaur, Mewtwo, and Rayquaza, who are all very popular Pokemon. And then you've got Birthday Pikachu, and again, Pikachu is an extremely popular Pokemon. And then you've got Blastoise. If you want to do a proper 1 to 5 and have a real set number 5, I think base set Blastoise is the one you go for. Again, it's not quite that easy because the prices are a little bit all over the place, and these really do, depending on where you look, and honestly, up till now, what day it is, it really is. Any of these could be at the top. But certainly as I'm looking around today, as I record this, it really does seem like this is going to be the one. This is essentially the most sought after. Of all the ones I'm putting down at number 5, this does seem to be number 1. Blastoise, I mean, it's Blastoise, right? Everybody loves Blastoise. And first partner Pokemon Gen 1, I'm calling it now, Blastoise is the coolest. Of course, back in the base set, it was also the most playable. And one fun little side note, I know I told you that some of these cards are legal for tournament play and expanded, and they totally are. But if you're playing in old school formats, if you're playing a base set format, you are going to want a Blastoise deck. Why not use this? It's a heck of a lot cheaper than regular cards, regular Blastoise from base set. It's going to be more expensive than this dude, and you're probably not going to get a mint one, and if you do, you're not going to want to play with it. Attaching as much water energy as you like? Yeah. Sounds good. And obviously you'll notice there that Venusaur and Blastoise are sharing number 5. These are 2 of the Gen 1 first partner Pokemon fully evolved. They are always going to be popular. In at number 4, we've got Shining Magikarp. Now, depending where you look, this can be either just about the same as the ones I've just shown you, or hovering around double the price. It really is very strange. But I do feel like this is the number 4 card, and certainly looking around, and again, depending on where you look, you will see different rankings, but aggregating them round, this seems like a good number 4. And the fact of the matter is, it's a Shining card. And the Shining cards are very, very popular, and this is the only one that made it in the same way that Rayquaza is the only Mega EX they gave us, and Donphan is the only Prime. This is the only Shining Pokemon they gave us. And back in the Wizards of the Coast era, where this actually comes from, we didn't get many chase cards. Nowadays, every block has some chase card or other. Back then, we really didn't get many of them. Plus, it's Shining Magikarp. It's not a playable card. No one's arguing it's a playable card. But certainly in terms of people loving it and it being a curiosity, yeah, this is pretty gosh darned cool. Now, in at number 3, we've got the only regular card, which is coming on the list here, and that is your Secret Mew, your Gold Mew, your call it what you will Mew. Now, depending on where you look, and this is one of those cards that has been extremely difficult to price, but I am putting this at about a $70 card. I'm trying to give prices to these, but like I always say in these value videos, there are so many different places you can look, and as you look, you will find different prices. So I'm doing my best, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not perfect and it's not terribly easy. So the prices I'm giving you here, take them as a very rough guide. But the thing with Mew is, well, actually a couple of things. Firstly, it's Mew, and Mew is a hyper popular Pokemon, so that makes sense. Secondly, it is a gold card, and essentially it is the only card from the regular collection which is properly rare. We've now seen enough, and trying to work out the pull rates of the individual classic collection cards is a nightmare, but we know that Arita Full Art Pikachu is actually really not very rare at all. It's just not. Similarly, we know that the Vs and VMAXs have a decent pull rate. Not a phenomenal pull rate, but a decent pull rate. And we know that the Full Art Professor Oak is, again, not hideously rare. Although we don't actually know, right? I pulled 8 of these. There were 2 products where I pulled 2 in the same products, and I pulled them in almost everything I opened. But then I've spoken to a bunch of people that have opened like 40 packs and not seen one, so I don't really know. What I do know is if you're trying to buy this as a single, it's not a hideously expensive card. It's like a $10 card. You can pick this up pretty cheaply, which is sad because I pulled 8 of them. I would love it if it was a $100 card. So we're essentially left with Mew, this Gold Mew, which is of course exactly the same card as the regular Mew from the set, and is a very playable card. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. If it's active, reveal an item card, put it into your hand, and it doesn't go asleep. I love this. It's a really good playable card, and it's a Mew, and it's the only really proper rare card that we see in the regular set. And when you put all of that together and you roll it up into a big old ball, you end up with the 3rd most expensive card in the set. And I'm going to be honest with you, right? If you are paying a lot of attention to this, you will notice that there are a clear 1 and 2. Although having said that, Umbreon is right up there with Mew. And honestly, if you want to switch Umbreon and Mew around, I am not going to be upset. It depends where you look. Over on TCG Player, they're both like $70 cards, whereas Troll and Toad has Mew as $120 and Umbreon as $200. But remember, that is a proper shop, and proper shops will sell singles more expensive than marketplaces, eBay, etc. But if you look around eBay and Facebook and everywhere like that, it really does seem like Umbreon is the more expensive card, but do bear in mind these are very close. And like we said a moment ago, they only tend to do 1 of each for most of these types. This is the only gold star. and gold stars were very rare in the day. And Umbreon is a very popular Pokemon. You also have that thing going on whereby Umbreon was a really playable card back in the day. So I have seen a bunch of people that play old format decks trying to search out this Umbreon so that they can actually put it into their decks, which is cool. You'll also notice we've got the blue marks on there, not the yellow marks. So we do actually have a shiny Umbreon here. And this is just the combination of Umbreon, gold stars, nostalgia value, because this was a very nostalgic card, and the fact that it's just a good playable old card, and that all wraps up together. And that means number one's Charizard. And it was always going to be. It doesn't matter what they put in. I don't think, unless they went really silly and put like Illustrator Pikachu in, and even then I don't think that would work, it was always going to be Charizard. And obviously Illustrator Pikachu, for people like me and a lot of you guys, that would be a really cool card to finally own a copy of, even if it was a reprint. But your average person on the street doesn't have a clue about Illustrator Pikachu, although they should have watched the videos on this channel, frankly. Whereas Charizard is the card. It is the iconic card in the history of the Pokemon trading card game, and it's playable-ish. Like, if you're playing old school formats, you can make Charizard decks, they're just not top tier. But the fact of the matter is, it's Charizard, and it really is as simple as that. There's nothing more nuanced. It is a card that everybody knows and everybody remembers. From the pull rates I've seen that are wildly unpredictable and honestly not always terribly in line with each other, it's not actually that rarer to pull than all the others. I've seen some that have put this around about in the middle. But if you're opening less than 1,000 packs, how much can we trust you? Instructive, yes. Definitive, absolutely not. The fact of the matter is, it is that Charizard card. And it's not going to have the same kind of value as that Charizard card, but it is still base set Charizard. It was always going to be number one. There was never really any comparison. And I have seen this everywhere from $150 and around. I've seen them selling for more. I've seen them selling for less. So when I put $150, two things. Firstly, that is a very, very rough guide. Secondly, it's been falling since release, and it is going to keep falling. So, if you're after this, I would leave it a little bit, quite frankly. I would leave it a little bit. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I think about all of these, and it's not really thinking, it's putting together the data. That's what I found, but I want to hear from you guys. Which of these cards would you pay a bit extra for? Which of these have you managed to pull? Which products have you managed to open? Tell me all your celebration stories in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.